little bit of leftover stew that's been sitting over the hot coals. You guys have that for a breakfast, and you basically get everything stowed back up onto the wagon, and you make the next day, the next journey. Well, next leg of the journey, you get to the Western Road.
And do we notice any more weird sounds of bat spawn or
No,
anything else? Or...
not during the day. No, not at all.
Okay.
Beautiful terrain like the day before. Lots of vegetation and everything as well around as you're riding towards the road. So, what are you guys doing during the day?
Do we meet anybody on the road when we get there?
Not a
Like,
soul.
Travelers?
Nope, not a soul.
I'll ride out from the wagon a little bit and make sure the way is clear from when I come.
Do I
Okay.
notice as we're going along that there's any like copse of trees or anything just off to the side of our... Do I notice anything?
What do you mean? What type of trees?
Copse of trees, like little groupings of trees.
Oh yeah, all over the place.
Props.
So what I will do then is at different intervals during our journey, I'll kind of like veer off slightly into one of these copse of trees and kind of just wait there for about like 5 minutes to see if anyone's following us or anything like
What
that.
do you need to
And
pee?
if they're not, then I'll just catch up to the group. Like I'll do that intermittently during the day.
If you need to pee, we can wait for you. It's not a big deal.
We already said it might be Bill's time of the month.
Oh, wow.
Guess who is vanishing down the pit next time?
Okay.
Well, Bell got real quiet real quick, didn't he, Bay?
No, did you not hear my response?
Yeah, well, I did. I did.
Okay.
I definitely did.
I'm only teasing, you know that.
Yep. Well,
As we stroll down the road, I will perceive the shit out of everything as I go.
Yeah, as you're traveling about sometimes up to 100, 150 yards in certain directions, and that's for both of you actually. Vay, I guess you're kind of hanging back by the cart.
No, I'm checking to see which way the wind's blowing.
It's me that actually keeps dropping off into the copse of trees at the side just to kind of like
Right.
hold up for a few minutes to see if anyone's following or you know, anyone's tracking us or
You just
anything.
see Vay licking her finger every now and then, sticking up in the air.
I'm being obnoxiously loud singing
I want to
Canary
stay
folk
away
songs.
from this.
That's great. I can just imagine it. It's going west.
Yeah, and I'll hear da 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 da. It's a Canary folk song.
Well, I'll tell you what though. Wow, Vay slamming the perception rolls today. Vay, you actually find three more small bundles of elf root,
Nice.
and one bundle of
Score.
philanderous as well. Vay kind of disappears for a few minutes
Alright.
as she gets like the scent, like a bloodhound. But you guys are
What did you say
now
they
to the
looked
west road, like a bloodhound. I said she's got the sniffer of a bloodhound. Man. Wow, now that I'm down to the bottom of my cup, whew, the vodka's strong. Holy shit. I was like,
So yes, when we
whoa.
arrive at the West Road, I don't think we're really doing anything other than just being overly cautious and, you know, paranoid as hell.
Yeah,
You're being cautious and paranoid. I'm just singing.
I mean, it's actually, you've seen several, I mean, a couple passed, but they were actually riding pretty swiftly. Several horsemen riding by, and yeah, they were running by with the horses they were carrying. But as several ride by. I mean, you're able to set up camp. So you set up camp for the second day. Nothing happens, and in fact, you really don't even hear any of the sounds, or it's just a quiet night. You hear a couple
I go
owls.
hunting again on the second night.
What
Give
did
me
those guys look like that were running by?
They were just your typical Ferelden Freeman. So
But they didn't appear to be following our track as such, they were just like riding by randomly.
I
yeah,
find
basically.
a couple more rabbits and some wild potatoes.
Because as
and
you're-
some wild garlic.
as you're coming down out of the Southron Hills, you can see the West Road ahead on sort of like the plains, and you could actually see several riders riding by, independent riders, that is.
Ugh. They
But-
passed 3 women on the road.
But it looks like, there are Alamari descent. You don't know if they're
Pretty busy.
Avars or Kakaris or what, but you can definitely tell that they're they're basically humans. So
When I go hunting, I find some more rabbits and some
you found another.
stuff.
Actually, you found the half pig, half rabbit. So you're
Can
able
I
to.
also find some
That
wild
was a
potatoes
new
and some
pet.
garlic and whatnot?
Sure, you find some potatoes
Yeah.
as well.
He finds everything for a stew.
Who said I was making speed wasn't just going to stick through its mouth and just roast it over a fire?
Potatoes.
Yep, potato.
At this point, I'm determining what I'm doing with the rest of my life now.
This one time hoping this
Concentration.
is not the rest of my life.
Second night goes by, nothing happens. Crow makes another stew. Although the potatoes tasted a little funky though. They didn't. The
I didn't
stew
cook them
wasn't as
properly.
good from the night. Yeah, the stew wasn't as good as the night before. So
Hold on, we're allowing Alexander to cook?
Yes,
Since
yeah,
when?
he cooked last night as well, and it was
that's
actually
why I
a,
asked.
a pretty damn good stew.
That's why I
He's
asked.
been
Did
getting
anyone get
lessons.
food poisoning?
Because he's hanging out with Ashara back on Farmville. So
Do you know all those
that
books I've been
explains.
collecting?
Yeah, okay.
They've all been cookbooks, not actual books. I have this massive library of just cookbooks, and they all tell me how to make
So
cookies.
that night we just camp up and,
basically, yep.
you know,
Yep. Rides on. You guys get up in the morning. Same thing. You
Yep.
start proceeding northeast to the Roswell Valley. You have about another. It's pretty quick travels now, so you're going to be able to get there probably close to mid-afternoon tomorrow night. Well, as the sun's going down, you should be able to get there. So, but as you're traveling on the third day, off into the distance, you notice a sort of like a trail of dust being kicked up along the west road. You're not really riding on the path itself because you're kind of being a little bit more discreet of your travels. But you can you ride closer and you notice that this is a small caravan. There's just 2 wagons, and as you get closer, there's no other horsemen. But it appears just to be a dwarf and an elf, a female elf at that.
Interesting.
Interesting. I'm half tempted
Um,
to go down there and say hello.
as we approach, I tend to plan to say, are we going to approach or do we want to see if we can find some
We
cover
can
to
do
the
a
side and let them
slow
go
approach.
past?
We can do a
What?
slow approach. When you ride by someone, just wave and go hello and just keep going.
Then I turn to Elephant, kind of like as we're still a distance away, say, can you just keep your eye out as we're approaching to make sure that they actually are travelling by themselves, please?
I do that all. Always cautious.
Go do your sneaky sneak. Sneak sneak.
The low rider.
Does the, as we're approaching, do the dwarf and elf look like they're travelling together? Or does it look like the dwarf is, are they of similar standing, does it appear?
It definitely looks like they're traveling together. The bridles and the throws, like the throw rugs and all of the horses and where the saddles are, yeah, they all match. And plus, you can tell that it looks like this is a traveling merchant because he's got wares and doors on the side of his 2 wagons and lots of pots and other utensils hanging down off of hooks, and you can hear it. And as you get closer, it's definitely getting louder. That's for sure. You can definitely tell that this is a caravan, so to speak, as like a traveling merchant. So,
Drunken dwarf confirmed.
but The weird thing is though is there's no other riders with him. Just the two mules pulling the carts, and the females driving the second wagon, which is in the back, and the dwarf is got a pipe in his mouth and got a hat with a huge feathered plume coming off of it, and he's the one that's in the front. So
as we kind of come close to each other, I kind of go hello and kind of nod my head and just keep going. If we stop, we'll stop if they stop us. Pretty friendly.
Alright, you just ride by. He just tips his hat to you then.
Yep. And I bet you
As I'm approaching them, I just my usual Maker's Blessings greeting and ask them if I may trouble them for a moment, where they're travelling to and where they've travelled from.
What the fuck is the Canari's problem?
We
Sorry.
have been wondering that for the past few weeks, don't worry. I don't say that.
He basically greets you, and he kind of pulls up a little bit on the reins of the horse. The wagon slows down, and he says, the name is Rock. Is there anything you're needing on your travels?
I ask again, from where is it you have actually come and where is it you are travelling to?
I'm traveling. I usually travel the road between Denerim and also Lothering. I just travel back and forth, my wife and I. And then the other wagon stops, and she gets down and walks in front of the other wagon where Rock is, and she introduces. Well, he introduces his beautiful wife as Ayla, and she's not Belle Curvaceous beautiful, but yeah, she's just your typical elf. And he goes, meet my beautiful wife Ayla.
They're not the
I
long, are
greet
they?
her and I ask if they happen to have passed through the Rustwald Valley on their way here.
We tend to try to stay away from Rustwald for now. We've had problems with some bandits prior to, actually, in one of our last visits.
Yes, we actually have heard of the trouble that was happening there with the bandits. And as I'm saying this, I'm kind of glancing to Elephane, giving her a look like, keep an eye out kind of thing.
Alexander kind of stops the cart and waits for him to
I actually ask him, I say, you mentioned some wares you may have. What kind of wares are you transporting?
Whatever.
Your load a little.
Little bit of everything, my friend. Beautiful friend.
Are they are?
I look to his
by
wife and give
themselves?
her a questioning look.
It's just it's just them two. And you can
That's not
see
very safe.
upon his seat, you can actually see several axes and swords that are kind of leaning against the seat, ready to, probably jump on any bandit that is going to try to steal anything from his or ransack his two wagons. And you can glance back in the back, and you can actually see the same thing on his wife Ayla's wagon as well. But actually, you can see a bow with some axes as well.
Is it a pretty bow?
Yeah, it looks really nice actually.
I feel better now.
Why?
'Cause, traveling merchants on a highway, that's just not a very safe occupation.
Oh, he says, Missy, we can take care of ourselves. We usually don't have any problems.
I actually pull out the jar of spices that I'm carrying, and I ask him if he would be at all interested in maybe purchasing them. Some very exquisite spices that we have come upon.
Where did you find these?
In a
These are
whole-
wonderful.
During our travels.
What region?
Slightly to the south of here.
You're not being too descriptive for me, because I love spices, and I'm actually out of spices at the time.
Well, if we could maybe get some way of contacting you, we can maybe assist you in the deficiency you are currently suffering.
I could use a... Wouldn't happen to have any alcohol on you, would you?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
It just so
We-
happens I do not.
It so happens we might own a vineyard, and so happens that we don't actually carry any liquor with us.
Actually, I do. I carry one bottle of full door wine everywhere I go.
But
His
you're not
eyes.
here.
His eyes light up. You actually say full door spirits? I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
man, he lights up. He goes, "Whoa, full door spirits! That is rare stuff. Where did you get that? Are you from Ventiver?"
Yes.
We
Oh.
actually are in possession of the
Farm.
Bulldog Farm. We are the current proprietors and landowners of the Fulldar Farm.
Well,
Do you
I'll
know
be
of it?
damned. Absolutely, I love Ventiver spirits. I usually try to barter and trade in Denerim, and it's so expensive. Oh, you got a bottle on you? Huh?
Yeah,
I
one
personally
bottle.
don't, but I believe that my travelling companion may do.
Man, I'm almost willing to give you the pick of the litter. But I don't think I could do that. But we could work a great deal.
What are you selling anyway?
Maybe we can work out a deal, lassie. His wife just kind of looks at him. He goes over to his wagon, opens up his first cart. Actually, there's quite a bit of things. I mean, there's all you can actually notice. There are all kinds of different. Looks like tattoo types of, chalk and what is that? What is that stuff that you use to make the temporary tattoos? The henna. Henna. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The henna. Henna, yeah. He's got all kinds of that stuff. He's got all kinds of glass vials. He's got more bunches of herbs. But it's basically just what you've already found already. So it's basically just all elf root. A little bit of a philanderous, but he's got quite a few potions. You do notice that. That's on the first wagon. The second wagon is more weapon. It's basically more weaponry. There's a couple different baskets of arrows and several different items hanging up. A bow hanging down. A nice suit of chainmail. Really nice stuff.
As we're looking at them, does
Some leather
anything
armor.
kind of strike me as maybe having any kind of magical properties? I know we don't have a detect magic, and I know that, but is there anything kind of strike me as being a little finer than the rest, or finer than it originally looks?
Well, you can notice that there is an actual suit of drake skin armor that is hanging up.
And do
Looks
I need
really
to check
nice.
to know that I would know that any properties of drakeskin armor, or
No, you just know that it's just a really rare material. There's several staffs. I mean, he's got several staffs.
does this appear to be in a position of prominence, or does it seem to just be thrown in with everything else? Has he noticed its exquisiteness, or is it just thrown in with everything else?
I mean, he's got a lot of stuff. I mean, it's organized, but he's got so much stuff. It's kind of hard to keep it organized. Well, it's hard for him to keeping it organized because he's got so much stuff.
How much for 10 glass vials?
10 glass vials. I don't know if I have any empty vials. My wife here, we've been actually making quite a bit of potions as we've been stopping. We've all kinds of elf root around here. And he looks around. I can see what he digs around and throws a couple pans onto the ground. He goes, yes! Here's some vials. I don't have 10, but I have 5. He says, give me... we'll work a deal. We'll just kind of hold them to the side. Because I really want that bottle of wine.
I asked him, does he have any superior quality weapons and something than over what I already have. So I show him the bastard sword.
Oh yeah, I got a +2 Warple weapon right here for you, sir. No, he doesn't. he just,
Really, you're gonna give me a Vorpal?
he's got a. It looks like he's got a bow. It looks like a couple staffs. You can see he's got a sort of like a another basket with it looks like scrolls. There's actually several bows, several staves. There's several blades. There's shields. There's all kind. There's actually he's even got torches. He goes, I've even got the best torches. All kinds of different potions.
If I may peruse the scrolls for a moment.
He goes, I can't let you see those, lassie. Those are the treasure maps. And if you want the treasure maps, you have to pay for those before you look at them.
Scrolls are treasure maps.
But I tell you what. Oh yeah, they're rolled up in scroll cases.
All right.
Oh, sorry, I actually misunderstood what you meant by scrolls as well.
Well, scroll. I meant to say scroll cases. So.
Yeah, no, it's my fault. I misunderstood what you meant.
It's all right. Well, I don't think there's scrolls in Dragon Age per se, as in like your normal Pathfinder / D&D type of scrolls. I don't know of any.
Not
In
really,
the game there
but
is.
Is there in the game? In the video game?
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yep.
There's spell scrolls.
we can make anything our little hearts desires because it's our game. So
Exactly.
Right.
so yeah, he says, maybe I'll throw one of these in for you.
Maybe throw some health potions in, and we may or may not have a deal.
Do you know how much by chance these bottles of wines cost in Dunham?
Cultural law to actually know that, or would we know that just from our experience of actually owning the actual?
You wouldn't
full
know
art
this
we had?
yet, but I will let you do a cultural lore check, just from the point of maybe
That
you would have heard
be
something around
right.
Ventiver, because you do know that when you guys first came to Ventiver, I had actually mentioned in our opening game that this wine was very sought after, in especially the major cities.
15.
You would think that a bottle of wine like this would probably fetch upwards of 2 to 3 gold per bottle in Dunham.
Nice.
And would we know the approximate value of the items that he has currently put aside?
There's several of the items that they definitely hold some value.
Would I have an idea
Not
of the
the
value of
glass
the great
vials.
skin?
I'm sorry, you were talking.
Ray, please go ahead.
I said not the glass vials, though.
No, he says, I'll throw these in if we can strike a deal.
I asked him about where he got the pretty scaly armor from. I.e. the dragon scale.
I think I traded a 2-handed axe for it several years back. See, a lot of people, when they're traveling on the road, they don't like to carry a lot of money. But sometimes
But
I
bet
sell
you
stuff.
do.
Maybe not.
Maybe just barters. That
Good.
would be safe.
That probably is the safest route. I asked Elephant, is there anything on the cart he is interested in? She is interested in.
Well, I like the spices. We actually don't really have any. We haven't had spices in quite some time. And the wife's food's been kind of bland, if you know what I mean.
You should let me cook.
she just kind of gives him a shitty grin, you know. And I don't know. Let's see. I definitely want the wine. I'm gonna be honest with you. So you could probably take advantage of the old dwarf, because I've always loved the Fuldor spirits. And you say you really own this farm?
Yes, we do, sir.
Yes, we do. We are the current landowners and proprietors of the Foldar farm. And For a very preferential deal, would be more than happy to maybe look at supplying you with more wine.
Now that would be the best.
At a price that would undercut significantly what you would be charged in Denham.
Rock. Let's see. How would I name that? How would I make a store? Rax, Ventiver, and Fuldor Spirits. Man, I could see that happening in Denham. That would be good times. I could get off the road.
And you and your wife would not be travelling such dangerous paths and having to go through the Rustwald Valley that you keep avoiding. It would mean you would be able to settle down.
Well, that's only been lately. I mean, I could settle down now, but I don't want to be tied around. I mean, I gotta wake up beside this every night, man. Every morning. I want to be out on the road, eh? As he kind of nudges you a little bit.
Your wife could look after the store for you.
That would be a pretty good idea.
You could have two locations.
I start shaking my head and go, where did she pick this dude up? A bar?
You would be earning money even whilst travelling. You would not be having to rely upon your goods selling in Lothering, because you would
wait,
always have a
there's more.
source of income in Denham.
I'll tell you what. Let's make a deal for this bottle here, and then maybe we'll take a trip towards Ventiver. And maybe we'll stop by and check out your base of operations. And not to say that I don't trust you or anything, but I would like to see for myself before I start making deals here.
Quite understandable.
I'm sure
Very,
you would.
very business.
You would understand that. Now, let's get back to
Pretty
this
nice.
staff. I've got some staffs. He brings one out. Let's see.
I show him mine. Do you have
Whoa.
anything better?
Okay, he gives
Hello.
you a good deal.
I whip it out and show him my staff.
We all look surprised that Ray has a staff. But we thought,
That looks like a boring Lake Calenhad Circle Tower special. Am I correct in that
Oh.
assumption?
Tell me about it.
I have this beauty. He pulls out a staff that's about 3 foot taller than yours. And this is a wood and iron. Actually, it's he's got two. The first one he pulls out is just a huge oak staff with several other points coming off of it. And he says that this has been harvested from a sentient tree in the Brazilian forest close by. And as you look at it and you hold it, and it gives you a touch of, as you actually are holding it, the staff feels warm. And it feels like you are killing me. I just totally fucking fell into that.
we just sit.
That-
You just hit it out of the park.
I just totally botched that. But yeah, you're wielding the staff and it feels warm. And no, I can't get into this anymore. God damn it.
Let's move away from staff.
And you can actually see that there's sort of like several worms and coming in and out of there's some holes in the staff as well, and they're kind of weaving their way in and out of the staff itself. Several centipedes. He says this is a pretty rare staff indeed.
Oh, can you tell me anything about this?
I can't tell you what it does. I've never used it, so. But I got it from an old hermit in the Brazilian forest. He lost a card bet, and yep, I walked away with the staff. It's pretty good times.
Oh, can I do a magic check on it?
Sure.
I have creation magic. I don't know if that will help or not. Let me know.
Just do a base magic, and if it's creation, David can add a 2 to that, to the result if it is creation.
Do you
If it
have
isn't,
creation?
Just take the base.
Does she
Yes,
have
I
it?
do.
It'd be a 3d6.
Wow. Holy crap. Yeah. Well, you sense that this staff, Vey, may